I'm Scott. I am from Fife, and myself and my partner were the first same-sex adopters, not in Fife, but through our local authority where we adopted. And in 2006, when we first adopted, it took us 18 months to be assessed. So that's a year and a half, in case you're struggling with the maths on that one. Now it's a lot less. It was a long process. And I'm pleased that it's actually a lot faster these days, or I hope it is, in most of them. And we did it twice, and in 2014, it took 3 days. So that's how much it's moved on. Obviously, it was a bit of a sneakier second time, because, you know, it's just updating your forms and stuff. So we have 3 boys. So we're a 5-boy house. The poor female cats really suffer with that. So Fraser's the oldest, and he was age 8 when he came to us, and he is now 18. And I know I don't look old enough to have an 18-year-old, but Brandon was 7, he's now 17. And then in 2014, we had Jacob. He was 7, and I would say he's probably the most challenging out of the 3 as a child. The other 2 we got away quite lightly with. And obviously now have an 18-year-old, it's a completely different world, because you have to retrain how to parent a child who has become an adult and sees themselves as independent, even though they don't have any money and, you know, all that sort of stuff. And I'm sure it's the same for birth parents as well, who, you know, have 18-year-olds. But when you're an adopter, it is a completely new thing, because you've just got used to repairing or trying to repair some of these children, and then they reach 18 and the pub is there and the trouble is there, and believe me, there's a lot of trouble that comes to our door. And I've put number 4 there because next year we're maybe thinking that we might do it again, but that will depend pretty much on how we get on with the 18-year-old and whether his bedroom will be free by then. But the way he's going, it will be free by the end of this year. So I wanted to introduce you, and the rest of this is actually mostly photos. So this little man here is Jacob, and as you can see, he's not shy, and I'm actually quite pleased that he's not shy, because it means that we can help to raise awareness by doing events. And he has, you know, he's been on CBBC and all that sort of stuff as well. And it's not something that every child does, obviously. But we're very lucky where his birth mum was in agreement with our adoption, and she knows where we live and all that sort of stuff. So we're very lucky to get away. This is Brandon. He's 17. Fraser's 18. That's my other half, Tris, and obviously me and my sexy Adoption UK cycle T-shirt. And I want to just quickly run through the truth about what it is like to be an adoptive parent. And I'm not going to tell you how to suck eggs, but I think it's really important that you get a balanced view on it, because it is difficult to be a parent of an adopted child, but, and there's always a but, the buts are sometimes that actually you feel like you are making good. So I've put 4 of each. It was going to be like 3 slides of bad and then 1 of good, or half 1 of good, but I thought no. So you will parent a child with difficulties. If they've been adopted, they're going to have difficulties. Even if, you know, they're a baby and they come to you, they are going to have difficulties at some point. And I think the one frustration for me is that the second point, you will parent differently to your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, and they will probably not get it to begin with, if at all. And we still, 10 years on, we still have to try and teach our parents how we parent, because they just don't get it. And we always get that phrase, oh, it's fine when they come to us, because, you know, yeah, because you sit them in front of the telly and feed them biscuits, that's why. And I promise you, because I've witnessed this, you will continue to advocate beyond 18. Yeah, we had it in our head that we were going to reach this massive milestone when he was 18, and we had a party and we had a big cake and we were like, yay, we've done it. Yeah. And then we did wake up the next morning and realise that, well, not the next morning, a couple of months later, and thought, oh, actually, do you know what? This is a completely new way of being a parent. It really is. And you won't be able to change the wee foibles, because, you know, I've got a 10-year-old who actually knows everything, and he does know everything. He's an intelligent little kid. But the other night, when he was having a bit of a meltdown, and he went upstairs, and on the landing, he'd dragged all his books off the bookshelf, and he'd written a sentence, and he said, I am who I am. Yeah, and he's always said that since he arrived with us. He's always told us that we will never change him. Yeah, I've got news for him because it's happening over time. But he sees the way he is as the way he should be, and he doesn't want to change that, and that's fine. But it's those little things that actually can escalate into the big things, because he is almost damaged effectively from the way he was treated as a child. And whilst we can try and change that, it's not always going to happen overnight, if at all. But then the positives, the little things will cause you excitement. And they really do, because, buying his first pint, that's really exciting, especially when you're buying one for yourself. And things like, 100% in a reading test at school, or, things like that. They really do cause excitement because you want them to do well. And some of the reports you might get from a seriously neglected or abused child, they might not even reach some milestones in their lives. So when you get something like that, you really need to hold on to it as a parent, because that means that you're doing your job right. Yeah. And you will see progress over time. You might not see it straight away, but you will see it over time. And you will make a difference as parents as well. And I think that's the thing that you have to hold on to when it's all going Pete Tong, and you're reaching for the wine bottle, because believe me, that is my favourite friend, is a wine bottle. But you will make a difference by being a parent. So that's kind of where I'm finishing up. But I just wanted to show you that was. I should never show these when I'm speaking because I just get emotional. That was the two older boys when we first met them. They were in Be My Parent and Children Who Wait, and that was them a year later. And that is them now. So that's them. And that was when Jacob met Prince William. I was quite pleased with that. I thought, I'm going to stick that in. We did a thing for Heads Together about mental health a couple of months ago, just before Father's Day. And Jacob was jumping for joy that he got to meet the Duke of Cambridge, so that was quite exciting for him. And that's it. Thank you.